So it looks like TikTok Shop dropshipping is officially coming to an end. Now, at least in the United States. So TikTok is officially being banned in the US by January 19th, 2025. And this time it actually looks like it's really gonna go through. And this is very worrying simply because this is gonna affect tons of small businesses, tons of entrepreneurs, content creators, and you, a dropshipper. So what do we know? How's this gonna affect us? What can you do to prepare? And can the upcoming president, Donald Trump, actually stop this ban? Let's go ahead and talk about it. So first off, how is this gonna affect us? Well, to put it bluntly, a lot of small businesses can potentially go under. The reason for this is because tons of small businesses got their start on TikTok. Not just that, but lots of businesses also use TikTok as their form of free organic marketing. A lot of people actually use it as their only form of marketing. So a lot of people that are on TikTok right now, a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of drop shippers are getting ready for the worst, getting ready for their platform that has been supporting their business the entire time. They're getting ready for it to go under. So a lot of people are trying to figure out what they need to do and how they can stay afloat. Because this is actually a very, very worrying time right now for lots of small businesses and entrepreneurs. Now, it was estimated that small businesses could lose up to $1 billion in revenue if the TikTok ban goes through. So up until now, what exactly has been going on? What are the timeline of events? So back in April, President Biden signed a law saying that TikTok is officially going to be banned within a year if it's not sold to a US company. Now, fast forward up until a couple of weeks ago, towards the end of November, we really haven't been hearing much about it. But now it's getting serious. So as of now, what we know is that the cutoff for selling TikTok is going to be January 19th. If it's not sold by then, TikTok is getting the X and it's going to be banned in the US. Now, I actually find this pretty interesting because this is actually one day right before President Donald Trump is going to be sworn into office. So in order to fight back, TikTok, or ByteDance, actually filed a motion to halt this ban. This was an emergency motion that they filed to at least be able to extend the date for a little bit. And unfortunately, it was rejected. So now what TikTok is doing is they're asking for a pause on this ban, at least until the Supreme Court and Donald Trump can both weigh in. Why? Because TikTok thinks that the higher courts and the president need to be involved in this. So what TikTok is doing is they're simply asking for an extension now for the ban, so that way the Supreme Court and upcoming President Donald Trump can weigh in on the matter. Now, one of the biggest reasons they're doing this is because Trump actually said that he's not really for the ban.
We're not doing anything with TikTok, but the other side's going to close it up.
So it looks like Trump actually wants to stop the TikTok ban, which is pretty interesting considering his position on China. But that's a completely separate matter. So at this point in time, what's going on is we're kind of just waiting to see what happens, unfortunately. There's not much we can do except just start to get ready for the potential ban. So what can we do? Well, right before we get into that, let's quickly talk about what can potentially happen if the TikTok ban does go through. So think about it this way. You're gonna wake up one day and you're gonna open up TikTok and then you're gonna look at your phone and it's gonna say nothing. It's either gonna be a blank screen or it's gonna say that this app isn't available in your area or your region, or the app could potentially just open up and then close. Same thing's gonna go for the TikTok shop, unfortunately. So there are a lot of different ways that the government can enforce this ban, but one way that a lot of people are considering getting around it is actually by using a VPN. Now that actually starts to beg the question, what's gonna happen to people that have balances on their TikTok ads? What's gonna happen to people's money if they have orders that came into their TikTok shop but can't be fulfilled anymore because you can't sign onto the app? What happens to the community that I've built on TikTok? Some people have massive followings on there. What's gonna happen to those followers? And how are people going to be promoting their business? Now, these are all questions that unfortunately we don't have all of the answers for, but we do have a few things that we can do in order to start preparing for this. So first, let's get into our balances. Unfortunately, there's nothing that anybody has said. There's no official statement as to what's going to happen with people's balances or just really what's going to happen overall. So my suggestion is before January 19th, use as much of your balance as you can, if not the entire thing. Also, do not commit to UGC creators, at least not for TikTok. Now, you can commit to different UGC creators even if they are through TikTok, and then if they give you the option to reuse those videos for other platforms like, let's say, Instagram or TikTok, or the upcoming one, Lemonade, but a little bit more on that later. And then as far as the community that you've built, unfortunately, there's really not much that you can do on there except let them know to follow you on any other platform. If you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, or if you're on the new app Lemonade, let them know that you're on these apps and tell them to follow you. There's a few different ways you can do this. Just sneak them into your videos if that's the type of video that you're doing. If you're a brand that pretty much only promotes products, then you can still do this by having a little watermark on your videos, or at the end having some text that says, make sure to follow us on Instagram, make sure to follow us on YouTube, or whatever it is. Now, these are a few things that you can do to prepare, but my biggest suggestion is going to be to start looking at TikTok alternatives. The main one is going to be Lemonade. Lemonade right now seems to be the one that is really starting to take off, and it's the one that you can actually sign into using your TikTok credentials. Now, unfortunately, none of your videos are going to pass over from your TikTok to your Lemonade account, but there is a solution to get this done for you. Now, the same thing is going to go for your followers. Unfortunately, those followers are not going to transition over, but if you sign in with your TikTok account and your followers sign in with their TikTok account, then you're going to be getting suggestions for those same followers. I personally already started migrating over to Lemonade, and overnight I gained, I think it was about 40 followers just from people that were already signing into Lemonade with their TikTok account. So I highly suggest that you do that, especially if you have a big following. Lemonade is going to be promoting your videos and your account to people that are already following you, and vice versa. Now, speaking of Lemonade, this is it right there. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There it is. So it's pretty much the exact same thing as TikTok, except repackaged. And instead of having a feed of just videos automatically playing, it looks like you have a feed that you can go ahead and choose what you want to watch. They also have things like videos and pictures, so they're very similar to TikTok with just a few different changes. Now, besides Lemonade, another option that you have is, of course, going to be Instagram Reels. It's a completely different algorithm, but it's worth uploading your videos on there. The other option you're going to have is YouTube Shorts and also Snapchat. A lot of people are actually very hesitant on Snapchat because they don't think there's a big community on there. But trust me, there's actually a very untapped community on there. And if you want more information on that, if you want to learn how to be able to do Snapchat advertising, then you can check out this video right here after this video. Now, let me give you the biggest valuable piece of information that I can give you right now in order to save all of your videos and your video library. Unfortunately, you are going to have to be doing this manually, and you're going to have to do each video one by one, but it's actually pretty fast. You can maybe do 5 to 10 videos a day and you won't spend more than 20 minutes. So for this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to this website right here. Now, this is called snaptic.app. So what you have to do for this is very simple. All you have to do is go ahead to your TikTok account and go ahead and choose one video. Let's say we're gonna go with that one. Then just simply go ahead and share it. Copy the link, go back to snaptic.app, paste the link in there, and download. Now you're gonna get two options, either download or download HD. I always do download HD. You sometimes have to watch maybe like a 30-second ad, and then you get your full high definition video without the watermark. And that's the best part. That's why I love this app, because all you do is just watch a quick video. Maybe even sometimes you just get a picture that you need to look at, and then you'll get your download for the high definition video. So even though this is the manual way of doing it, so far this is the best way that I've found to be able to save all of your videos and your video library. Now the other option you have if you don't want to do this manually is simply go on a website like Fiverr and look up virtual assistants. There you're gonna find tons of them that can help you in actually just doing this, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to have your entire video library downloaded within a couple days. Of course, that's gonna depend on how many videos you have. Now, I highly suggest that you do this before January 19th, because after then, you're probably not gonna have access to any of the videos that you've uploaded. Then what you can do is simply just keep a backlog. Whether you're gonna be uploading on Lemonade, Instagram, or TikTok, just start uploading these every single day, and sure enough, you'll start to grow your community on all of these different platforms. That is assuming that you haven't done so already, or you haven't been reposting onto all of your platforms when you upload immediately to TikTok. So that's actually something I suggest you do. Whenever you upload to one platform, download that video, and at the same time, just upload it to the other ones. You have nothing to lose except for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Now, another thing that you need to do in order to save your dropshipping business is start dropshipping on different platforms if you're not doing that already. The reason I say this is because, remember, TikTok is getting banned, but so is TikTok Shop. So start opening up accounts on different platforms like eBay, Amazon, Shopify, Facebook Marketplace, and start diversifying your dropshipping platforms. Now, typically for these kinds of videos, we don't have cheat sheets, but everything that I just talked about, I actually have already outlined, along with a few references to a couple of articles that are gonna talk a little bit more about the ban and everything that's going on. So if you want access to that, just let me know your thoughts about the TikTok ban down in the comments below. We're not gonna be doing a hashtag, we're not gonna be doing any of that. I just wanna know what your thoughts are on what's going on, what could potentially happen, and how are you preparing for this potential TikTok ban. So best of luck to all of you out there, especially those of you that are using TikTok as your primary platform for marketing and for dropshipping. Don't worry though, there's always gonna be tons of different opportunities that we can take advantage of. We just have to jump on these trends early, like Lemonade. Huge thank you to everyone for watching. My name is Mario with AutoDS. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and I'll catch y'all next time.
You'll always be with me.